Once again, I welcome all the participants in the next session of the topic which I have started or discussing on the participatory approach. Within the participatory, the importance of participation in the development now shifted, and then we have started discussing on the very important methodology, that is the PRA-PLA technique. In the last session, we have discussed about the historicity and then how the whole idea of PRA and PLA has been evolved. And now let's have a started again. About the PRA-PLA techniques, the major difference between the PRA and the formal research methods. Why this PRA became so popular in the developmental field? Because of some reasons, and you can get it. You can very easily identify it. So PRA is a short time. Within a short period of time, you get to know about the different information and get a lot of information from the community with the community. Whereas in the formal research method, it is a long time because you have to develop the questionnaire, you have to go in the community, do the surveys and all, whatever the methodology used, and then PRA is about the group research, whereas formal research method is usually go by one-to-one. It's usually taking the information from one and then goes to second, to the third, and the fourth, and same way. PRA technique is more concerned about the visualization. Means once you have developed the mapping, different metrics, different models even, so you get to know or all the information more visually. So even the illiterate people can get participated into that and get to all the kind of information, even they do analysis of that. So this is what visual aspect, whereas the formal research method is more verbal based, means written or oral way, but it is more about the verbal, using the words rather than visual techniques. Usually in the PRA, we go with the more purposive sampling, means whoever has been involved into that, you get easily the kind of the community members or different for the different sets of the community members purposively you have selected. So it is usually about the purposive sampling you can go with. Whoever available, and then every community members would participate. Need not to doing any kind of the very formal set of the fixed sample frame, as in the formal research method, that you go with the very purposive sampling, and then doing all those moving with all following all the fundamental aspect of the sampling technique. It takes more and more time because of going with any kind of the sampling technique. But in the purposive sampling, depending on the purpose of the task, you can actually organize the community member or whoever available to do to you at the time of the kind of the research, because it's more about the flexibility. So it's usually low cost, and formal research method is usually it's involved high cost, because you have to go one-to-one, right? And in the PRA, you have one or two experts can do and get information of the larger masses of the community. Triangulation is actually believe in the triangulation, this PRA technique, that's about source of information change, men, women, different questions. So depending upon the, this is about the purposive sampling. So and also you can also triangulate one method with the another method, whereas in the formal research method is the same question for all segment of the population you have to ask. So because you have already prepared some set of the questionnaire, maybe there's some open-ended question, but even though it's not give that much space for to talk about as in the PRA technique. It's more flexible for sure, and formal research method is fixed because everything is so much designed. High participation is there in the PRA because community members feel more excited, and once you go with the PRA technique, they are more excited to participate because it's more interesting. But once you go with the formal research, it's very low participation would be there, because you have to go one-to-one. It's very boring kind of the activities, because even the community members don't feel so much interest into that. On the spot analysis in the PRA, whereas in the formal research method, heavy statistic or analysis has been done later on in your office or in your computer or whatever, coming out from the community. Here it's a little statistical analysis is required. Yeah, here in the formal research method is heavy statistical analysis is required, if particularly if you go with the more quantitative approach or quantitative research. So very heavy statistical analysis will be required. So and then its PRA is sorry, it's vice versa. PRA is more fun, enjoyment and relaxed, while formal research method is it's creating more boredom and frustration for the obvious reason that we have already discussed. So, and moving ahead, I hope you understand the difference between the PRA versus formal research method, why it became so popular in the developmental field. Now, moving ahead, let's discuss more on PRA technique. So, PRA is intent to enable the local communities to conduct their own analysis and to plan or take action. So, conducting their own analysis by the community members. So, what is about the PRA? PLA is a family of approaches, methods, attitudes and behavior. So, it enable and empower people to share, analyze and enhance their knowledge of life and condition, and to plan, act, monitor, evaluate and reflect, as the Chambers has, Robert Chambers has mentioned. So, it's about the family of approaches. There's a lot of approach, a lot of things has been included. Here it's about the methods or different tools and techniques has been involved. It's about your attitudes, and then attitudes that you have actually been engrossed in the community members, and then behaviors of yours, and attitudes and behaviors of yours as well as of the community members. To enable the empower the people as the facilitator, your attitudes and behaviors should be that way. You could be better understand by understanding this, by looking into this whole chart. So, usually it has been said that it has 3 pillars. So, one thing is about its methods, first pillar or second pillar or third pillar or vice versa. So, as first pillar we can take as a method. So, what are the different methods we are going with? So, there's a lot of methods, lots of tools comes under the PRA. Hundreds of tools has been there, and every day it is new tools has been emerged and develop and evolved. Sorry. So, it's about the interviews, mapping, model, ranking, score, and analysis, diagram, present, plan, observe, list, compare, count, estimate, act, monitor, evaluate. So, many methods has been involved into that, and steps it has been involved into that. Second is about attitudes and behavior. That's what this definition is talking about, your attitudes and behavior. So, what kind of the attitudes and behavior is required? Hand over the stick. So, now you are not the master, rather you have to learn from them. So, hand over the stick to the committee member. They can do it. So, believing in that committee members can do it by themselves. Use your own best. They can do it, but your observation, your analysis should be good enough so that you have to observe, analyze the best way. Judgment at all times. Use your own best way, judgment at all times. Then sit down, listen, learn and respect. Your attitude and behavior would be like that you have to sit down, listen them very carefully, learn them, respect them. Respect the community members that they have all the information. Don't be in hurry. Okay, I understand. Okay, just come to this. No, just have to be relaxed. Listen to them very carefully. Give that space, give the time to them to speak about their own issues and concern, and whatever the tools you are using, whether you are developing any social mapping, resource mapping, transact, we're doing the transact, give full time, full space to the community members. Then you get some very new things which you cannot actually expected. Or you can assume on. So, this is what that you have to give in the all kinds of the respect, and then your behavior would be very loving, very respecting towards the community member. Unlearn, very important. And we further discuss on this. Unlearn means whatever the learning you have, you just have to share it. Those you go with the kind of tabula rasa mind, means your mind should be very clean to take new things, right? So, you have to unlearn, because if you're going with first any kind of the preconceived notion, you're not going to learn the new things, because you have already some kind of the develop some kind of the criteria. So, new things you are not going to accept and receive. So, please, first thing is about to unlearn. That's very important behavior. As an important and expert in the PRA techniques, required from you. Then relax. Relaxing, that I have already told you. Facilitate the committee members in getting to know about the different aspects, because it's required, because they feel sometimes hesitate to participate. Sometimes they have in this despite of all the knowledge and information they have, they are somehow feeling some kind of the there are some kind of inhibitants to come out and to participate. So, giving full kind of the respect, so they would actually facilitate into that. So that is what you have to facilitate them that okay भैया हाँ हाँ आप बताओ नहीं सही बता रहे हो अब आप इसके बारे में बताओ अच्छा उनको भी बोलने दीजिए. So that kind of the statements actually gives the confidence and facilitate them that they actually whenever they feel any kind of the whether should I speak on not, this has happened in general in the group activities, and so you just have to facilitate them, take everyone's participation and facilitate them into getting some right information. Don't be in rush. That is what relax. Ask them. Yeah, asking is also important as in because it's once you go for the research event, so you have to ask something because in the traditional method asking is the only thing that you have to get the information here, but just to ask in that much amount or that much open you have to question should be that much open so that there are more and more answers, more of different nature of the answers would have to come. So that is there you have to ask them. Through asking you also facilitate them in giving the answers, in giving the right direction. Have fun, so it's not should be very kind of rude behavior you should not go with. You try to enjoy with the tools or the techniques which you applied with the community to get informations, and also make the things funny for others as well. Crack some joke in between. If someone says something, so just laughter is the part and parcel of PRA PLA technique. And whenever I do it, so there is a lot of fun has been associated with the PRA PLA technique. I am sure that many of you have already using these techniques, and I'm sure that you are aware about. You can understand the kind of entertainment and fun has been attached with this PRA PLA technique. Be nice to the people. So that is so kind of the behavior and attitudes is expecting from you. Then is about the sharing information. This is the third very important aspect of this triangle. Sharing information. One thing is about method, second is about the attitude, and third is about the sharing information. So sharing information is about they share their knowledge and analysis of each other and with us. So it's about that you have to could ask the question and they give the answer, and sometimes you also have to facilitate, give some information, and so they will come out with the more information attached with those initial information. So and then all share experiences of living, food. They will talk about the different experiences of how they live, because many a time for the seasonality diagram, for the daily chart, you have to understand their overall experiences of the kind of the living pattern of their organization. Trainers share their training camps experiences with others, NGOs, government, university donor. So this point suggested that you have to share your experiences with other developmental sector or developmental organizations as well as to the universities to make it more grower and to make the PRA PLA technique more acceptable into the different fields, because sometimes your experiences is not been experienced by anyone else. So your experiences would added something into the PRA PLA technique. Sometimes you can also evolve with some new types of the mapping. As once I remember that in some environmental issue when I was working in some rural areas, so I used to make a threat mapping. Threat mapping is nowhere is mentioned in any book, but I have actually converted the whole resource mapping into the threat mapping. So that is what I innovated. So you can also innovate in a number of ways. So threat mapping was I actually asked the students to make a map with the community members to identify their garbages and then drainage and open drainage and all. And then in the whole community aspects, you just have to make it with the darker colors or the different colors. So in the keys, I asked my students, and even I didn't use the different keys, rather than I use the different colors to depict the degree of issues related to the environmental problem. So open defecation with another color, and then garbages with another color. So that way it was developed the map by the community members, and when it converted into the sheet, I converted into the larger sheet. So when it displayed to the community members, just to make them realize through that visualization that they are living into that much of disturbed or polluted area. So through this visualization from upper side, so important. So that was so successful even. So that is what I just have to give an example as like how you can use and modify the different tools every day. The new sets of new kind of the tools has been developed. So that was a threat mapping which I have actually modified from the resource mapping. Now next is about PRA has 3 ideology, or it's also considered as an pillar. So many in many books it is written as a pillar. So as I have written here as a pillar, so it's about the ideology, or even you call it as an pillars. So first thing is about unlearn yourself, that I have already mentioned into that how learning to give up what or what you actually have in your own mindset or in your own perception. So because you are there to learn new thing, so listen carefully is so important, and learn from the people you engage with. Embrace humility by shedding preconceived notions and biases. So don't go with any kind of the biases regarding towards for any community or for any issues, for any concerns that these people are like this only. They have this problem, we know. I have studied somewhere. I mean, this is what happened with the usually with all of us, that we believe that whatever we have studied, that's true, and we go in the community with that kind of preconceived notion. It's very difficult. We are talking about that. We have to unlearn ourselves. So, but this unlearning yourself is so difficult thing, because you socialize into some aspects, and you actually internalize those information so seriously that you won't believe into the new things, and it's very difficult for all of us to de-learn. But this is again so important to actually unlearn yourself or de-learn yourself from, or going into the community with without any preconceived notion. Use your own best judgment at all times. Be critical of what do we learn, critically assess the information you gather, recognize that not everything you learn may be complete or accurate. We can balance empathy with analytical thinking to ensure fair and objective understanding. So again, it's very critical skill has been required from you to make a balance between empathy and analytical thinking, because many times you become so attached with the kind of issues which has been raised by the community and believe it. But you have to go also with the analytical thinking. Again, those analytical thinking has to be unbiased, has to be free from any preconceived notion. So your analytical skill which you get from that time into the community, and whatever the information is being given by the community members. So make a balance between these two. Do it yourself. PRA is experimental methodology. Learning happens through practice. So it's a action method actually, or a research action method. Take initiatives and actively engage in facilitating PRA process in the field. Understand that the method is adaptive and requires hand-on experimentation to build skills and confidence. So many times you have to, as it is very flexible kind of method, so you have to be hands-on experimentation. You have all space, and you have all the chance to experiment with the different methods, with the different tools, with the community. So that is what you can do. As I have mentioned the example of this threat mapping. So now, what are the importance of PRA? So PRA definitely good for providing basic information in situation where little is known. Traditional methods we are going with is always giving some kind of hypothesis, and even if you go for some kind of a grounded, developing some, getting new information but that all takes lot time consumption, on your lot of efforts has been required. But PRA are where PRA is so important and give you the basic information on the areas where very little has been known, right? Identifying and assessing problem. So it's important in identifying and assessing the problem. It's good in developing and transforming appropriate technologies. It goes good in appraising emergencies if it has been there in the community. Through need assessment, you can identify the kind of emergencies in the community through different methods like force field analysis and all. Planning projects that are more relevant, restructuring administration, assisting in decision making and policy formation. Because through different tools, you can get the different, you can analyze the different aspects of the community. Maybe it's community dynamics, maybe it's about the need assessment, maybe it's about the overall information about the capitals in the community. So you can, with the different tools, you get to know, and you can be influencing into the formula, the influence into the policy formation and then decision making. Generating hypotheses, ruling into inappropriate ones. Ruling out inappropriate ones. So you can generate hypotheses. You don't need not to work on the hypothesis. Rather, you can generate hypotheses, and providing guidelines for survey designs and assessing the applicability of the results to other places. It's good for fleshing out, complementing, interpreting, or giving depth and context to information obtained through the other methods. So fleshing out in the context of PRA is what it refers to the process of complementing, interpreting, and giving depth, context to information obtaining through the other methods, interpreting and adding depth information, right? So it's actually through this fleshing out through the PRA methods, you understand the things more meaningfully, and action, you can take some kind of the action on the basis of that. That is what the fleshing out, complementing and interpreting. Participation must be contribute to the quality of project, and I mean, these are the very first point is the contribution to the quality of projects. Project like it add values. I mean, that's what the point is. Continue to the PRA are good for. So how it is contributing to the project? Because it add values. Right, when you go into the community doing the traditional method of survey, even though but you have triangulated with the other PRA, PLA techniques, so it gives a more better and nice approach. So usually whenever I applied for any projects or any kind of such activities, so I always added some PRA, PLA technique like dream mapping and all. So it's always it's always gives some kind of more authenticity, that you are doing something different, something additional to the traditional mode of research and thing. So it's always add some values to your work, have a multiplier effects, have a long lasting effect, because you are taking participation of the community and you are getting some new information, improve the status of the participants. So definitely once the community is started participating in from the research to the planning to the intervention, so their status has been improved and became more involved and more empowered. So next is about the involvement. Leading from behind. You need not to be as a leader, but you have to lead from the behind as a facilitator. Clarifying objectives, that's very important, that you have to clarify the objective for which you are actually asking the question. Otherwise, a lot of the different kinds of the answers would be coming out from the community members. So always facilitate in between that, and to guide that whether the whole discussion is going in right direction or not, or the information is coming is in right amount or in the context of the project or goals is not. So that is very important. So clarifying objectives in meanwhile. Learning together, that's what is the fundamental of PRA, PLA technique, that's you are learning together with the insider and outsider. Making sure no one is left behind. So this is again important, and it's important fundamental of overall participation approach, with that where we so much talking about the inclusion, and we have to think on and be very critical on exclusion aspect of the community members. So include everyone. Then it's a good for empowerment. So help all to listen to the smaller voices, even the whose voice has not been heard. You have to take their participation. Facilitates sustainability. Sustainability means today they are participating, tomorrow they are just running away. No, you have to make such situation, such aspect that everyone would feel happy and to participate every time. Provide for letting go. So if anything is not considered to be included, so you have given this chance to letting go. Empowerment implies control of technology, information, material resources and money. And then organize what? To ensure order, sequences, ensure self-government, ensure direction. So this is what you have to organize the whole activity as a facilitator. Just moving ahead, benefits of PRA. So as we have discussed that how it is good, so now it's the same way we have to talk about the benefits of PRA. Empowerment of the local people and local confidence is generated, that's for sure. Securing active involvement of the community, definitely. Diversification and appreciation of local knowledge, encouraging, enabling and expression and utilization of local diversity. So accepting the diversification and promoting the diversification and taking participation from the diverse group is important. Creating a culture of open learning. So everyone could learn and you have to learn from others as well. Setting research priorities. So this is again important aspect. Benefits of PRA after developing some kind of hypothesis, as I have already we have discussed about that. It's about generating hypothesis. Once you generate hypothesis means setting research priorities. So on which areas overall coming out from the very unique information. So that is what the setting research priorities for the future researchers. Localization. So the extensive and creative use of local materials and representation conventions. This is actually important, that whenever you go for the community, for any tools of PRA, PLA technique, try to pick the things from their community only, right? Like leaves and then dry leaves and then grasses and the stones, pebbles, everything. So, it's always helpful in developing the PRA, PLA tool. In the next coming sessions, I'm telling you that how you can use the different resources available in the community while actually using this PRA, PLA technique. As always, it's about the enjoyment. Inclusiveness include marginal and the vulnerable groups. Next, it's about the principles of PRA, PLA technique. So, very first principle is talking about the participation. So, participation, need not to discuss so much because we have discussed so much about the participation. So here it's about the actual value system of this whole method. Is about the participation. Next is about the flexibility. PRA worker must maintain some amount of flexibility in her attitude and keep herself open to new experiences, information and knowledge. This will also help in forming a better rapport with the community members and then understand their point of view in a better sense. Optimal ignorance is about it avoids unnecessary details and irrelevant data. Do not collect data which you need not. So collecting lots of data and which is irrelevant is always considered not to take. And then which you do not, in order to efficient in terms of both time and money, PRA work intends to gather just enough information to make the necessary recommendation and decisions. It's about teamwork. PRA is best conducted by a local team, speaking the local language with perspectives and knowledge of the area's condition, tradition and social structure. A well-balanced team will represent a diversity of a socio-economic, cultural, gender and generational perspective. PLA is facilitated by multidisciplinary teams, including people with different skills and different views. Even the different members of the community members would also the part of the team. Team should include members of the communities as well as of the outsiders. So maybe you can include some other professionals along with you. Maybe the agriculturists, once you're working with for some developing some kind of or getting some information regarding the agricultural field and all. So you can take the agriculturalist along with your team. Triangulation. So this principle says that assessing information about the same thing in different ways and from different sources to ensure and from the different members of the community and is more considered to be reliable and different viewpoints and recognized by the different members. PRA works with qualitative data. It's mainly PRA is a qualitative data. In order to ensure that information is valid and reliable, PRA team follows the rule of thumb that at least 3 sources must be consulted or technique must be used to investigate the same topic. So as it is a qualitative, so maybe it's very subjective. So you're doing some kind of the activity with one set of the community members, maybe that is influenced by their own subjective ideology. So that could also be happen with the traditional methods, but because the traditional methods, the number of the respondent is so high compared to the PRA PLA technique. So for that reason, it's very important to validate your information through getting information from different sets of the community, and at least 3 to 4 respondents has to be taken for the same issue, and you can use the different 2-3 methods for the same aspect. So this is all about the principles of PRA PLA technique. There are more principles we need into the next session. Thank you so much.